I'm Andy Berg with the City of Sioux Falls Environmental Division. Today's press conference is to discuss the 2016 recycling rate results and the 2017 recycling goals. The details of those numbers are going to be discussed by Jessica Lanshin following me. I just wanted to touch base on a few of the talking points today and then where we're going from here. The recycling rates in 2016 did not improve from 2015, which is unfortunate, but there are things that we are doing to keep the process moving forward to improve our recycling rates as we go into 2017. There are a lot of things that can be done and a lot of things that we are planning to do this year that we are optimistic will lead to improvements in our recycling rates. Some of the things that we as a city have done and are doing going into 17 include the Magic of Recycling program that we go out to local area schools. We have a magician that puts on a program for the students, teaches them about recycling in a fun and exciting way. This year we reached out to roughly around 2,000 students. It's a really great program. The schools love it, and we'll continue to do that in the future. We've also provided flyers and stickers to the haulers that have a very clear pictures and description of what is recyclable and what isn't recyclable, so that users and customers within the city have a clear idea of what goes in the single stream recycling and what they should keep out of it. Another thing we have for the schools is recycling kits that meet the core curriculum standards for the schools. We have 7 of these kits that are available for free for the teachers to check out, and they go from basically pre-K through 8th grade. And they're a great resource for those teachers to teach the kids. We believe teaching the kids is obviously a great way to set the tone early on so that as they age, they know what's right, what's wrong with the recycling industry. We've also have a significant ad campaign that we go through every year through radio, public service announcements, TV ads, digital ads. This year we're also doing digital billboards. Hopefully you've maybe seen some of those already, but the billboards have the same kind of information that we have on our flyers, what to recycle in single stream and what not to. So we think we're doing some good things. We also have haulers that are doing the right thing. We have haulers that, an example I have personally is my parents who are recycling cardboard, and they put a pizza box in there. The hauler put a sticker on there, wrote this isn't recyclable due to contamination, and left it for them to put into their garbage the next time around. This is a great example of what haulers can do to educate their customers. Are all the haulers doing it? No. There's room for improvement, but that's the kind of thing we'd love to see the haulers move forward with. They're our best resource for reaching that customer base. So hopefully we can get more and more participation in programs like that as we move forward. With more information on the actual rates, I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Lanshin, our Sustainability Coordinator. Thanks.
Hello, like Andy said, my name is Jessica Lanshin, and I am the Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Sioux Falls. This is our 6th annual goal announcement, and so I want to thank you all for being here today. I first want to mention how we calculate our recycling goal for the waste haulers. Essentially, the recycling rate for the previous year, the overall rate for all the haulers, becomes the goal for the next year. So we take all of the verified recyclable weights hauled by the licensed waste haulers over the recyclable weight plus all of the municipal solid waste hauled to our landfill times 100, and that becomes our goal for the next year. We also have a recycling standard that is mandatory for all of the haulers to meet. If they do not meet this standard, they are subject to enforcement. And the standard is 80% of the recycling goal. For 2016, our recycling goal was 23.6%, and our standard was 18.9%. Like Andy said, we have some haulers definitely doing the right thing. There were 10 waste haulers who exceeded the recycling goal in 2016. However, unfortunately, 3 haulers did fail to meet this recycling standard and will be subject to enforcement. These are Dakota Disposal, Waste Management, and Sioux Falls Sanitation. Our overall recycling rate for 2016 was 23.2%. Unfortunately, this rate is a slight decrease from 2016. However, it's important to note that there are challenges that the recycling industry as a whole is facing right now. These include changes in stream composition with the increase in bio-based and flexible packaging, as well as rising in labor and processing costs and a decline in commodity prices. Locally, we do believe that this decline in the recycling rate is due to contamination in the single stream. Contamination in the single stream can cause a number of different issues, but we don't believe that people are doing this on purpose. We know that our residents here in Sioux Falls understand the benefits of recycling. It conserves natural resources, it helps the local economy, and it protects one of our biggest capital investments, which is the landfill. We believe that people are doing what we're calling hope cycling. They're putting things in the recycling bin that may or may not be recyclable, but they're hoping that they will get recycled. And many times this can cause more harm than good. To help with this, we came up with an ad campaign to show what does belong in the recycling bin and what doesn't. And we have some guidelines that I'll go through. We need citizens to follow these guidelines so we can recycle as much material as possible. Contamination in recycling can lead to safety risks for haulers and material recycling facility employees, damage to recycling equipment, and may result in loads of recycling being taken to the landfill to avoid contamination fees charged by recycling facilities. So how can you help improve recycling in our region? We need you to follow our recycling guidelines. These are to recycle cans, plastic containers such as bottles, tubs, and jugs, cardboard and cartons, and paper. You can recycle shredded paper if you put it in a clear plastic bag and tie the bag shut. Same with plastic bags. You can recycle plastic bags at home if you put all of the bags in one bag and tie it shut. Put your recyclables loose in the bin. We don't want to see recyclables in garbage bags because they could be mistaken by your hauler or by the material recycling facility as garbage and get thrown out. So keep your recyclables loose in the bin. Never put medical, human, pet, or food waste in your recycling bin. Electronics and hazardous waste can be recycled if it's taken here to the household hazardous waste facility. However, it does not belong in your home recycling bin. Styrofoam is not recyclable. Ceramics, porcelain, toys, clothing, and garden hoses do not belong in your home recycling bin. Many of these items can be donated or sold at a yard sale, but they don't belong in your recycling bin. In addition to our public education efforts mentioned by Andy, we have also put together a task force focused on education and enforcement for businesses. We will be meeting here in the next couple weeks, and we hope to work with businesses to improve their recycling rates and their contamination as well. I do also want to talk a little bit about our regional recycling rates. Our regional recycling rate goes beyond just our waste hauler recycling rate. So these are materials and processes that the EPA considers to be recycling, but it's in addition to what the haulers are doing. So the waste hauler recycling rate, the goal that we talked about, that's just what your waste haulers are doing. This regional recycling rate takes into account things like what we do at the household hazardous waste facility, scrap metal recycling, or businesses who self-haul their recyclables to a material recycling facility and don't credit their hauler with those materials. So it goes much far beyond what the haulers are doing. This regional recycling rate is a more holistic view of our region's recycling efforts, and we calculated that to be 47% for 2016. So we are doing a great job at recycling in our region. We've recycled almost half of our waste. However, we need to do a better job at helping the haulers to meet their recycling goals. And so we can do that, first of all, by decreasing the contamination in the single stream recycling. With that, I'll bring Dustin Hanson on. He's our landfill superintendent. He's going to talk more about landfill operations.
Thank you, Jessica. Like Jessica said, Dustin Hanson, landfill superintendent. As a nation, we generate a lot of waste. It's still estimated that over 220 million tons of garbage goes to landfills each year, and that equates to about 4.5 pounds of waste by each person. Locally, we do a good job. We don't want to reverse those trends. Locally, we're a little over 3 pounds per person that goes to the landfill. For instance, in 2008, we generated almost 178,000 tons that went to the landfill. Jump forward to 2016, and we generated 164,000 tons. So you can see in 8 years, we've actually went down the amount of tonnage that went to our municipal solid waste landfill. And that is largely due to single stream recycling. It was a little bit of an uptick from 2015. We did increase 3% from 2015. 2015, we produced 59,000 tons that went to MSW. So again, like I said, we do not want to reverse these trends. How recycling impacts the landfill. Every few years we have to build new cells, and these cells are a huge capital investment. Anywhere from on the low end, $4 million to upwards to $7 million to move soil, to put in new liners, things like that. So it has a direct impact on our capital investments. It also has a direct impact on the citizens of Sioux Falls. The longer we can put more waste in those cells over a longer period of time, that saves you money for tipping fees and for your garbage rates. Like Andy noted this, we've got an open system. It takes everybody to make it work. It takes the landfill, it takes the haulers, it takes the citizens to make this work. If there's issues, work with your haulers to get those issues resolved. One thing that we're doing or going to do at the landfill is increase load inspections. Inspect those loads of those haulers to inspect for recyclables that could be in those loads.